The information expressed in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. This information is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. Hey everybody, Dave here, Hidden Freedom Investing, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I just want to go through a comment that Thomas left, and it was a pretty interesting comment. I know he probably took quite a bit of time to write this, and unfortunately, YouTube the last several months has been having some funky issues with comments where people leave comments, and then I go there to reply, and even click on a reply link and all that, and there's no comment to be found at all. So because Thomas is a loyal subscriber of mine, and honestly I really appreciate his comment, well thought out comments and thoughts and all that stuff, and I really put him up there in the top tier list of investors and really respect his opinion, and I can't leave him hanging. There's just I feel it's wrong. It's just not something that I'm okay with. And I've even had other people get they don't get upset, but it was a little misunderstanding and unsub because they thought I deleted their comment. And trust me, I don't delete anybody's comment. The only comments I delete are spam and stuff like that. So, and unfortunately, those never seem to have the issue where they never not get posted. So, Thomas, I don't think you deleted this. You could have, but I don't think you did. So I got this from my email. So luckily I can still see the comments in my email. They're just not on YouTube or on the video that you put the comment on for some reason. So anyways, I thought this is a very good one. So I wanted to reply to you personally here. So JEPI is definitely a top tier. So if anybody, before I start, I did do a video on JEPI. And this is what he's responding to, so I'll link that at the top over here if you want to take a look at that video that he's putting the comment on. So JEPI is definitely a top tier income ETF. I still give Devo the edge because of the dividend CAGR. I completely get that as well. I still think I would probably rank Devo as being number 1, JEPI being number 2, and then NUSI being number 3. And that's just the rank I would put it in for income ETFs. He's got SHD down here, which we'll get to in here in a second. I fear JEPI is going to see distribution cuts if we hit a recession or a crash, which is interesting. So I don't know if I 100% agree with that. So JEPI number 1, which I talked about in the video, is JEPI is it's an SP 500 type stocks that they're invested in, and they try to buy the lower volatility stocks, by the way, in the S&P 500. Doesn't always have to be S&P 500 stocks, but and then they run 15 to 20% in ELNs, covered calls in ELNs, and I don't know, it's a structured product, so there could be some other stuff in there too. I don't know if there's bond mixed in there or not. We really don't know. We do know that the ELNs are against the SPX of some sort, but we don't know 100% of the structured product. That's all I know. They pretty much space them out 1 week apart. So I don't think that JEPI is going to cut very much, if they cut at all. JEPI, whatever they make, they pay out. Unlike, say, QYLD, which tends to pay out based on their NAV. So guess what? If their NAV goes down, they're going to pay out the 1% based on the NAV. Well, guess what? The thing goes down 30%. Your income has actually been reduced. I don't think that JEPI is going to be hit that hard. The covered calls depends on how they do it. And unfortunately, we don't really know the details of how they run the ELN covered calls. How basic we know they're a month out. Excuse me, I always say that. We know that they're a week out, but we don't know the strikes or anything like that. So obviously, if the stock goes down, if it's cash settled because they're running to get an SPX, it doesn't really matter whether or not they're above the cost basis or anything like that. So, okay, that week they put a new one on and it's been down, well, they could just lower the strike down, right? And then, let's say the stock continues to, or the market continues to go down, well, guess what? They can just lower the strike again. It's still going to generate the same amount of income. So I really don't see it them cutting. If it's not based on the NAV, then I don't see them cutting. And number 1, it's not going to probably go down as much as the overall market anyway. And if it's cash settled, they're not going to have to worry about things getting called away or anything like that. So okay, the market goes down 5%. Let's just move the strike down a little bit and throw some new calls on, and then there you go, same income, right? If the market does go down, and he's talking about go down in a major recession here, then isn't IV going to go up? Shouldn't the calls go up in value as well? Puts are going to go up in value. Well, that doesn't really affect us here, but I do think that the in volatility and just in general would probably cause both sides to go up as well. So, I get the fear. That is something that really hasn't been tested. I do think that you can't count JEPI being a QLD because it's just not the same animal at all, and so I get the fear, but I just don't think that they're going to cut very much if they do cut. So, all right. That's just my, I don't know, that's my opinion. So, all right. The trailing 6 months of premium have already fallen. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's just because I think that, I think this year alone for 2021, the VIX is down 28% year to date. And that's probably the reason why. All right. So, if the VIX continues to go down, then we could see it drop a little bit. But, it's still pretty stable. If you look at the income, and I don't even know where it is. I'd have to go to a different site here to look at it. Let me look at it. All right, now we're looking at JEPI's dividend income. It's really a distribution. So here it is right here. So let's see here. So the whole year, basically, 26 cents, 32, 34, 37, 31, 39, 25, 33, 34. That's a lot different from last year's, but I think they've just, because it was so new last year, they've modified the strategy slightly. Plus, IV was a lot higher last year. This year alone, IV has gone down. Excuse me. I'm calling it IV, but the VIX has gone down 28% year to date. And so last year the VIX was a lot higher as well, and that's part of the reason why I think that the income has gone down a little bit. But it's been pretty stable, even at the beginning of the year when IV was pretty high. It was pretty low right there. So a lot of it also depends on what they put the cover calls on. Was the market up big that day, then it's possible that they got more income for that particular week, right? So that's, a lot of different factors in there. But really what matters is it's pretty stable, right? That's what we really care about. And so far, I would say this is pretty stable right here. We have this weird month right here. And a lot of people say, oh, they cut it. It's like, well, it is what it is. They could have had 2 weeks where the day they put them on, it's just the market was down, right? So we don't know exactly, and we know it's rules based, but we just don't know when they put them on, right? We don't know the day, we don't know the time or anything like that. So, okay, let's go back to here. All right, let's see here. Trailing 6 months, yeah, fallen somewhere. Still a solid yield and still respectable total return, but you'd have to have a margin of safety and above your actual income needs if you're going to rely on the distributions to pay the bills in retirement. This is something that exactly what I'm going to be doing as well. So if I need $50,000 to live on, which I don't, if I need to, I actually live on a lot less than that. But if I need $50,000 of income to live on, then I want like $70,000 of dividend or income ETF income. And then what I'll do is, well, I think he even says it down here, I want to use some of that extra to reinvest in some of these income ETFs when they're down, right? So if we have a big down market decline or something like that, and then you just reinvest, 5 to 10% or something like that. So, say it brings the income down to $55,000 or $60,000 from the 70. You just then reinvest in some of the other income, and then that also takes care of the CAGR issue that he has up here as well, which will offset inflation, because not every one of these have a CAGR. NUSI doesn't have a CAGR. I don't think JEPI has a CAGR. SCHD does, and DEVO does. This is just a standard. SCHD is just a standard ETF. DEVO is more of an income ETF, but more of a traditional dividend portfolio, just running cover calls against it, which has a pretty darn good CAGR as well. So, all right, DEVO's payout has proven to be more resilient and dependable, and more importantly, has grown year over year at about 10% clip. He's talking about I believe he's talking about the CAGR. So I have a big chunk allocated towards JEPI in my buy and hold portfolio, but DEVO still has my biggest allocation. I think a combo of SCHD, DEVO, JEPI, and NUSI is tough to beat, and that's pretty much what I'll be doing as well. I already own a bunch, equal amounts of DEVO, JEPI, and NUSI, about $144,000, $145,000 of each. And then SCHD has just got one share in it right now, so I will be building out SCHD as time goes on. Tailor the weighting to the current yield and average CAGR that suits you. Makes sense to me. Let's say in retirement, reinvest unspent dividends in SCHD or Devo for added growth. Completely 100% agree with that. I would not be probably investing in NUSI, JEPI, or QYLD or XYLD, which I own as well. There's just no reason to, unless we have a major market decline or something like that. Maybe I would invest something back into it. But SCHD and Devo, yeah, I would say, because those are real, traditional dividend, more traditional dividend income ETFs. And I think, trying to reinvest back in those is actually good, because obviously this is not capped on the upside. SCHD, Devo is a little bit, but it's a highly managed ETF, and you would definitely take advantage of upside as well. I'm still avoiding QLD and QLD and RLD. I still actually own both of those. I'm not a huge fan of either one or XYLD. I'm not really a big fan of Global X funds in general, but I do need the income. If I find the income is too much or I don't need it or whatever, then I'll probably just dump those and throw them into the more stable income ETFs or SCHD above. I can definitely outperform those funds with my own option strategy. That is one option as well. QLD is really just QQQ stocks that they just run covered calls against. It's rules based. It's very simple, and they're charging you an arm and a leg to do it. Same thing with RLD. It's just on the NASDAQ, and it's not very hard to run a rules based, covered call strategy, and definitely save yourself the expense ratio, right? Which Global X is basically just charging you for nothing. So, all right. And with higher upside, especially with leverage. All right. Makes sense to me. Looking forward to see how, looking forward to see how you manage your different portfolios when you fire. I imagine you're going to have a lot more income than you need, especially if the market stays afloat and the options income keeps rolling in. All right, great problems to have. I agree, 100%. That is probably exactly what's going to happen. Probably have a lot more income than I need, especially since I'm running options in a separate account as well. This is before another $3,000 a month. But anyways, Thomas, I appreciate this comment here. And sorry this didn't go through. If I do see any more stuff like this where any other subscriber of mine, or even it didn't even have to be a subscriber really, I don't see something goes through and it's a well thought out comment, and I will respond to it in a video response like this. So anyways, hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.